Hello everyone. So today we are going to do Jonathan Swift, who was born in 1667 and he lived up to 1745. Jonathan Swift, he is one of the greatest authors of Ireland. He was born in Ireland, he was an Irish author, he was a clergyman also, and he was a satirist also. By clergyman, I mean that he was ordained in the Church of Ireland in 1695. Ordaining is the process by which we make somebody a priest of a church. Okay, so that is why he became a clergyman in 1695. And by satirist, I mean the greatest satirist English literature has ever witnessed. He was the greatest satirist. I would say that he was nothing. Swift was nothing if not a satirist. His satire knows no barriers, it has no boundaries. I mean, that is why I told you that he was a great satirist. There are several things which he attacks through his satires. It can be individuals like Bentley or Wooten, like he did in the Battle of Books. Uh, he can also ridicule the groups, tendencies, institutions, professions, and everything. He can also ridicule humanity in general, like he does in Gulliver's Travels. Okay, so except his satires, you know, he was a satirist and he wrote all his satires in prose. He was, Edison, there was Edison also. Edison wrote poetry also, but if we talk about Jonathan Swift, he was a prose satirist. You must remember that most of his works they were prose satires. He tried his hands in poetry also, but couldn't write well, as Dryden said. Cousin Swift, you will never be a poet. Why does he say Cousin Swift? I must tell you that he was a distant relative of Dryden. He was a distant relative of Sir Walter Raleigh also. He had also met Alexander Pope as well. So before reading about all this, we must know that how did he lead his life, how did he live his life. So you know life is not a bed of roses for everyone. So you can say that thing for Jonathan Swift as well. He was very young when his father died, so he was given to some aunt by his mother and who brought him up. And then he was patronized by Sir William Temple. Actually, it was his mother who brought him to Sir William Temple, and he patronized him. So he started. He became secretary to Sir William Temple in probably in 1689. So remember this name, Sir William Temple, because you are going to need this name when we will start the author. So he used a pseudonym M.B. Drapier to write his pamphlets. He was in love with Esther Johnson, who appeared in his poetry as Stella. Esther Johnson was quite younger. She was quite younger than him. Probably there was a gap of 14 years or something. Okay, so let's move further. So the first work by Jonathan Swift we have is A Tale of a Tub. A Tale of a Tub. So if we talk about this work is it was intended to be a satire on numerous and gross corruptions in religion and learning. So, A Tale of a Tub and Gulliver's Travels, I would say that these are the two most important works of Jonathan Swift. You know, he was the greatest satirist. So, you know, while he was when he read that book years later when he was old, he says that what a genius I had when I wrote this book. So you can see that this is uh, uh, that is why he found this book really important for him. Okay, so let's start studying the work. So he says that the work was intended to be a satire on numerous and gross corruptions in religion and learning. Numerous means a number of. So, there are so many corruptions in everything, be it religion or learning. We shall be studying both the things. I will be telling you both the things. So, by corruptions of religion, he entirely meant the corruptions of Roman Catholic Church and dissenters also. Dissenters means the Protestants. Okay, so Swift, he himself was a strict follower of the Church of England. So obviously you can imagine that is why he was going to attack the other churches in England. Okay, that is why he attacked the other churches. Okay, so naturally he became the critical of he became critical of the corruptions of other churches. Okay, so by the corruptions in learning, he meant the corruptions of modern learning and modern authors as well, modern writers also. Okay, so you must remember both the things that by corruption in church, he meant the corruptions of Roman Catholicism and Protestants. You know, Roman Catholicism means the Church of Rome, the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, so what is the case with the Roman Catholic Church? That they are really strict. The Roman Catholics, they are really strict. They wear a proper uniform. They are really traditional. So that is why he attacked them for their uh, conventional ideas, whereas he attacks the Protestants for their dissent, for their dissents, and he also attacks them for their for not believing in Anglican Church. Anglican Church is the Church of England. Okay, so you can see that we have three ways of living in in Christianity. So we have Christianity, you can see it is further divided into three parts, that is Roman Catholicism, Protestantism, and Anglicanism. Okay, so that is why he attacks the corruptions of other churches. So you can see that the work A Tale of a Tub, it is an allegorical history of Christianity, right from the days of Christ down to the rise of various dissenting groups in Europe. Okay, so you can see that the tale is an allegorical history of Christianity from the days of Jesus Christ to the days of dissents, to the days of Protestantism. Okay, so in this work we have the most important characters. These are an old man and his three sons. Okay, so the old man is Jesus Christ. The old man stands for Jesus Christ, and the three sons are, you can see, Peter stands for Roman Catholicism, Martin stands for Protestantism, and Jack stands for Anglicanism or Anglican Church. Okay, so these are the three children. So, what is the story of this work? Before his death, before the death of the old man, obviously that is Jesus Christ, he gives his sons as a legacy three coats. He gives them three coats. Okay, the coats which we wear. So three coats are given to the children, be it Peter, be it Martin, or be it Jack. And he directs them not to make any changes in them. Okay, so Jesus Christ, he gives them the coats and he directs them to not to make any changes in them. But the sons disobey the instructions which were given to him, which were given to them by Jesus Christ or the old man, I would say, है ना. So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਉਹ instructions ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ Jesus Christ ਦੁਆਰਾ, old man ਦੇ ਦੁਆਰਾ, all of them they disobey their father, or you can say they disobey the old man. Okay, so Martin and Jack, they break with Peter first. Peter stands for Roman Catholicism. Martin and Jack, both of them, they break with him, and then Jack parts company with Martin. Okay, Jack stands for Anglicanism, and Jack also parts company with Martin. So you can see that all three are separated from each other. So these separations, what do they stand for? They stand for Reformation, and you can say that they also stand for the Protestants. They also stand for the rise of Protestants. Okay, so ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ Protestants ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਕਿਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੋਣਾ, ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਲੱਗ ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦਾਗਾ, ਕਿਸ ਦੀ ਐਲੀਗਰੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ Reformation and Protestants ਦੇ ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਹੋਣ ਦੀ. Okay, so that is why this you can see that ਜੋ ਆਪਣੇ author ਨੇ Jonathan Swift, he criticizes hypocrisy and pomp of Roman Catholics and pretensions and enthusiasm of the Puritans. So you can see he criticizes both of them. वो कहने खुद ਨੂੰ criticize नहीं कर, he doesn't criticize the Church of he doesn't criticize the Church of England, he doesn't criticize the Anglican Church, he only criticizes the Roman Catholics and the Puritans or Protestants. Okay, so Protestants, they are different from both the church holders. Roman Catholics, they believe in the Church of Rome only. They believe that it is the center of the world. And on the other hand, the Roman Anglican Church, they believe that it is the most important church in Christianity is the Church of England. And both of them, they believe that God lies there in church. Church is a special place. But this is different for the Puritans. This is different for the Protestants. They do not believe in cross. Though they believe in Christianity, they believe in God. But they believe that God is something which is inside us, which is inside all of us, and we do not need to go to church. We do not need to confess to Him. Okay, we can confess everywhere, anywhere, without even speaking. Okay, so this is what they believe. So on the other hand, rest of them, be it Roman Catholics and the Puritans, they think differently. So now you would ask me why this title is given to it. The title is A Tale of a Tub. So you can see why this title is given to this work. So the title means it is an activity performed by mariners at sea. Why do they perform this activity? Actually it is a practice by the mariners. Actually they throw an empty tub into the sea whenever their ship is going to be attacked by a monster. By monster we mean a shark or something. Okay, so whenever they believe that they are going to be attacked by a shark, they throw a tub. So this tub, it diverts the attention of the monster who attacks it instead of the ship. So you can see that in those days the Anglican Church was being attacked. The Tories, whom Jonathan Swift had supported, Tories was a political group. So he was a supporter of Tories. Tories supported the Anglican Church, they supported the monarchy. So all of them, they were being attacked by them. So to save themselves, to save the Tories, to save the Anglican Church, he threw a tub, and that tub is this book. That tub is A Tale of a Tub. So you can see, to divert their attention, he threw this book. Okay, so obviously I believe that you have understood it. So let's move further. The next work we have the Battle of Books. The next work we have the Battle of Books. So, the Battle of Books, it is one of the first published works of Jonathan Swift. It was also published in 1704. The book is based on ancient modern controversy. Okay, so the work, I would say that the work was a contribution to his patron Sir William Temple. As I told you earlier, that he served as a secretary to Sir William Temple. So the work was a contribution to Sir William Temple. Actually, what happened before that? What had happened earlier? So, you know, actually, in those days, there was an uh, uh, there was a controversy which was prevailing in those days. It was ancient and modern controversy. People were comparing, or I would say that the writers in those days they were quarreling, they were fighting over the issue of ancient authors and modern authors. We have seen that in Dryden's works also. So similarly, there is the same case. So actually, Sir William Temple, he had written an essay, and in that essay, he had supported the ancients, but his essay was attacked by two authors. They were Bentley and Wotton, as I have written there. Okay, so Bentley and Wotton, both of them, they attacked him. They attacked Sir William Temple, and so to support Sir William Temple, somebody has to jump, and that was Sir Jonathan Swift. So obviously, uh, ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲੋਇਲਟੀ ਆ ਸ਼ੋ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਸਦੇ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰ ਵਿਲੀਅਮ ਟੈਂਪਲ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਉਸ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਸੀ ਸੋ ਹੀ ਡਿਡ ਇਟ ਵੈਰੀ ਫਾਈਨਲੀ okay so the books of ancient and moderns, there are books of ancients and modern authors which are stocked in St James Library in London. Okay, so the immediate cause of the battle was an issue between the ancients and moderns. Actually, uh, both the books, be it the ancients or the the moderns, they were fighting over that they were fighting whether the ancients should occupy the highest place in the library and or the moderns should occupy the highest place in the library. Okay, so they were fighting over this issue, but then followed a material incident, I would say. Material incident ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਿ that there was a quarrel between a spider living in the corner of the library and a bee. So there was a skirmish, there was an issue, there was a material incident between which took place between a bee and a spider. Okay, so spider ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਰੇਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. Okay, so spider stands for the moderns. Moderns, what do? They spin their scholastic lore out of their own entrails. That means they are lost in their own idiosyncrasies, they are lost in their own ideas. So the spider stands for the moderns, and on the other hand we have b. b stands for the b stands for the ancients. Sorry for not writing it there, but I will try to put it later on. So then we have b. Bees, this stands for ancients. The bee stands, they follow nature for honey. They are free roamers, they roam everywhere freely, the bees, and they collect honey. They go to the flowers. So in that sense you can see that the ancients, they were also free from any rules, and still they wrote the greatest literature, and that is why they were great. So they followed nature, actually they followed nature for rules. Okay, so in this way we have been given two types of authors. ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਬੀ ਤੇ ਸਪਾਈਡਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਇਸ਼ੂ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਸੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਤੋਂ ਕੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਿ the ancients, they are patronized by the deity Palas and they are led by Homer, Pindar, Aristotle, etc., with Sir William Temple commanding the alley. So you can see that all the greatest authors, all the ancient authors who are greatest in all senses, you would see that they are commanding their allies. Their allies are being commanded by Sir William Temple. Sir William Temple is commanding them. And on the other hand, we have the moderns. The moderns have for their patrons Momus and criticism. They are led by Milton, Dryden and Hobbes. So ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਨੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਸੋ ਦੈਨ ਦ ਐਕਚੁਅਲ ਬੈਟਲ ਬਿਗਿਨਸ, ਬੈਟਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਨੇ all of them they start wounding each other, all of them they start fighting with each other. Virgil and Dryden, they meet to fight, but you know Dryden, John Dryden, he was a supporter, he was a follower of Virgil. He called Virgil his father, and that is why both of them they start expressing both of them they reciprocate each other's love for each other, and both of them they also exchange their armors with each other. Okay, so on then rest of the ancients and moderns fight with each other. The moderns attack the ancients, but they fail to kill any ancient. Okay, so towards the end what happens that जो अपने author ने Bentley and Wotton ने, they while the ancients were sleeping they go and they try to steal their armor, you know, just like they stole their literature. This is what they are doing now as well. So when they go to steal their literature, when they go to steal their armors, suddenly they are attacked by the ancient authors and all of them they are killed. Okay, so ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਨੇ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਡੈਥ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਨ ਵਿਲਨਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, I would say all the ਜਿਹੜੇ modern authors ਨੇ, and rest of them just like John Milton and Dryden and Hobbes, they do not fight. Okay, they do not fight, they do not support each other. Okay, so let's move further. This was the book. Actually several questions have been asked from this book. The questions about bee and a spider, it has been about asked in the net exam, probably in the master cadre exam also, and probably last time it was asked that where did this battle of books took place. So obviously it was King James Library or St James Library in London. This is one of the most famous libraries in the world, so you must remember it. This work, like a tale of a tub, was also published in 1704. Okay, so let's move further. Then we have elegy on the death of Dr. Jonathan Swift. Last time there was a question, who wrote elegy on the death of Dr. Jonathan Swift? So it was our Jonathan Swift himself who wrote it. Okay, and you must remember that his father's name was also Jonathan Swift. So this elegy he wrote for himself. He himself wrote it. The obituary of this work is, he gave the little wealth he had to build a house for the fools and mad, and showed by one satiric touch no nation needed it so much. So you can see that I would say he hinted at his satires with his own obituary. Okay, so then we have his most important work, that is Gulliver's Travels, which was published in 1726. The subtitle of this work, travels into several remote nations of the world in 4 parts by Samuel Gulliver, first as a surgeon and then as a captain of ships. So you can see that in this way, this work is divided. This work has four parts. Remember this thing, that this work has four parts. Okay, so many authors have said a lot about this work. I still remember John Gay's statement. He said that it is a book which is read from nursery to cabinet councils. So you can see that this is something which is enjoyed by the old men also, and it is enjoyed by the children also. Both of them, they I would say derive out their own meanings, but still it is important for both of them, and both of them they enjoy. Okay, so all ages groups ki ne, all of them they enjoyed this work. So in this work we have Samuel Gulliver, who is a surgeon on a merchant ship. So in this work he goes on to uh, four journeys. He visits four parts of the world, and in each part you would see different things. Okay, so the book is divided into four parts, and I would say before reading the parts, I must tell you that his satire is included mainly in the last book. And I would say in every book you would see that he shows his dissatisfaction at the man's activities. Okay, so first he visits Lilliput. So in Lilliput, you can see that the people are 6 inches tall. The inhabitants of this country are about 6 inches tall, and their king, their majestic king, is, I would say, is taller by almost an is taller by half an inch, I would say. Okay, just to किया half an inch किया गया ज़्यादा लंबा गया comparatively to rest of the Lilliputians. Okay, so all the Lilliputians, they are 6 inches tall. So the Lilliputians, just like their size, they are small people. They have a narrow thinking. They have a narrower thinking. They're not so open-minded. You know, their political ideas are senseless. They, they have domestic feuds. They keep on quarreling over petty issues. छोटी छोटी चीज़ां ने ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰੋਂ ਲੜਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ. How do they fight? Say, you know, they fight over small issues like uh, they quarrel over such issues as whether an egg should be broken at the bigger or the smaller end, from which side an egg should be broken. Or they also fight over the issue like whether they should be wearing high heels or not. Okay, so all these things they keep on fighting over small things. So you can see that with this work, Jonathan Swift, he attacks the religious people, the religious dissenters, mainly Puritans. They are attacked by Jonathan Swift. Okay, so this was the first part, that is Lilliput. Okay, so the next part, the second part, that is Brobdingnag. So just like in Brobdingnag, just like in Lilliput, the Gulliver was a giant for them. So in this country, in Brobdingnag, the people, they are giants for Gulliver. Gulliver is so small in front of them. So the Brobdingnag is a country of giants. The giants, they see Gulliver as a small uh, human being, and still I would say that Gulliver, he is proud of being an Englishman. He believes that he is a civilized fellow. He is not like the inhabitants of a Brobdingnag, because they are really simple and honest. They are simple and honest, and on the other hand, we have Gulliver. who is so sophisticated, who is so civilized, who as he belongs to the era of industrialization. Okay, so ਇੱਕ industrialism ਦੀ era ਨੂੰ ਉਹ belong ਕਰਦਾ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ he believes that he is superior to the inhabitants of Brobdingnag. Okay, so here again he makes them enjoy a lot and he makes them acknowledge acknowledge the superiority of English people. He shows them the superiority of the English people, and the king of that country, Brobdingnag, is impressed with the ideas of Gulliver. Okay, so let's move further. Then he visits Laputa and Ligado. So Laputa, as you can see, it is a flying island, as you can see in the first picture here. So as you can see in the first picture, Laputa is a flying island, and all the professors of Ligado are of some airy constitution. All of them, they belong to some airy constitution. So the scientists here, they love only two things. All of them, they love only two things in life, that is music and mathematics. Okay, that is music and mathematics only. Okay, so you can see, just like the ideas of philosophers and scientists, they are far away from the reach of common people. Similarly, the ideas of scientists and philosophers of Laputa, they are also away from the reach of common people, and that is why in that sense you can say that they have been satirized. Their ideas, their experiments, they are satirized by Jonathan Swift. Okay, so here he meets Struldbrugs, which is a ghastly race of human beings. Struldbrugs means the people, sorry, जो Struldbrugs ने okay ने they are like human beings, but they are, I would say, they are like ghosts. They are like phantoms. They are so scary. And then he visits, after Laputa and Ligado, he visits Balni Barbie, Lugnang, and Glubdubdrib also, where he meets the ghosts of Julius Caesar, Brutus, Homer, and Aristotle. Aristotle is shown to be a madman who has long and scattered hair, and he's behaving like a madman. So he meets the ghosts of all these people, be it Julius Caesar, Brutus, Homer, and Aristotle here. Okay, so see, as you can see in the pictures also, Laputa and Ligado de which. So then we have the fourth part. I would say the fourth part is the deepest and darkest of all. Remember two words, deepest and darkest. Why so? Because here we meet the Honeyhums, who are rational and civilized horses, and Yahoos, who are bestial human beings, foul in body and mind. So you can see that the horses here, which are called Honeyhums, they are rational and civilized. They can speak. Their behavior is so civilized. They do not hurt the nature. They can be trusted. But on the other hand, we have Yahoos, who are so close to the human beings, but still they cannot be trusted by them. So you can see that the ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ Honeyhums ne, they are rational and civilized horses. So the idea of an ideal man is near them. So they stand for quality. The Honeyhums, they stand for quality. And on the other hand, we have Yahoos. Yahoos are bestial human beings. They are foul in body and mind. They cannot be trusted. So this is what human beings are. In a sense, he is satirizing us. Jonathan Swift is satirizing us, he is ridiculing us because he believes that we are not rational and we are not civilized. Okay, so that is why he says that we are foul in body and mind. So in the land of Honeyhums, he meets the Honeyhums rational and civilized horses. First, they are shocked to know that Gulliver, who looks like Yahoos, he can speak and he can think and he is so civilized. So Honeyhums, they rule over Yahoos because they are civilized. After showing much love to Gulliver, they treat Gulliver with a lot of respect. They give him a lot of affection. But then suddenly, what happens that they decide to expel him. He tries to reason with them, but he loses. Why so? Because he resembles to Yahoos. He looks like Yahoos. They say that we know that you are not the same, but you look like them, and that is why he is expelled from Honeyhams, from the land of Honeyhams. So he feels disrespected, and that is why he leaves the land. Okay, so in the end, he reaches the England. Okay, in the end, he reaches England. Okay, so you can see that the swift ਦਾ ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿ ਆਈਡੀਅਲ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੋਨੀ ਹਿਊਮਸ ਵਰਗਾ ਹੀ ਮਸਟ ਬੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਦ ਰੇਸ਼ਨਲ ਐਂਡ ਸਿਵਲਾਈਜ਼ਡ ਹਾਰਸਸ ਆਫ ਹੋਨੀ ਹਿਊਮਸ okay so then we have a modest proposal for preventing the children of poor people in England from being a burden on their parents or country, for making them beneficial for public, in which was published in 1729. So you can see that even our author Jonathan Swift, his father died at a young age, so he became a kind of burden on his own mother, who gave her to a nurse who brought him up. Then he was patronized by Sir William Temple. So probably there was a personal thing also. It was something personal also. And besides it, you can see, as we have read in the rest of the poems, be it Chimney Sweepers or be it any other poem, we believe we can see that the children of poor, they suffered. So he is speaking ironically in this work. He gives numerous ways to eat children as a nutritious diet so that they won't be a burden on anyone. He believes that they should be killed, they should be fried in the oil so that they will become a good source of protein. We can eat them. So you can see that there is dark humor in that work. There is dark comedy. He's saying he is criticizing us. He is criticizing the English way of living, in which the children, they are seen as burden. Uh, um, everything is disrespected, and everything is worthy only if it has a material worth attached to it. Okay, so if it is not costly, if it doesn't bring any money, if it makes us spend money, then it is useless. Okay, so this type of thinking, this utilitarian way of thinking was attacked by Jonathan Swift in this work. Okay, so it was a modest proposal. It is known as a modest proposal, though the full title is really huge. So the work was published in 1729. It has been asked in net exam. It has been set. It has been asked in set exam also, and it has been asked in master cadre and meritorious school exam also. So you must remember this work. Okay, you must not forget this work. So then we have Journal to Stella. As we have discussed earlier, that Esther Johnson, who was quite younger to Jonathan Swift, both of them, they shared a close bond. Both of them, probably they loved each other. There are love letters which prove my ideas. So the work was published posthumously. It was published in 1766. It is a series of intimate teasing letters to Esther Johnson, which gives a vivid account of which gave a vivid account of Swift's life in England among Tory politicians, how he supported Tory politicians and all those things which he did for the Tories, which he did for the monarchy, which he did for Sir William Temple. All those things they are included in them. Okay, whatever he discussed with Stella, that was Esther Johnson. Okay, this is what it is there in his works. Okay, besides it, he wrote several poems for Stella. Okay, that is why, as we have seen in the beginning, at the beginning, that uh, John Dryden said, "Cousin Swift, you will never be a poet." Okay, this is what he's had to say about his poetry. So he couldn't become, I would say, he couldn't become an important poet. He couldn't become an established poet, though he had the ideas. So his poetry is somewhat nearer to doggerel. Okay, so thank you very much. You can follow, you can add me on Facebook. The id is named as Cavalier Literary Classes. You must follow, you must share it with your friends. The channel name is English Literature and Grammar on YouTube. And that is my contact number. If you want to contact me, if you want to learn about anything, or if you want to ask anything, you can call me without any hesitation. So thank you very much. We shall meet again.